Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're down here in San Diego, and you may be asking yourself, why are we down here? We're from the Bay.
Why?
Well, we're here for Manny, for me, and my buddy Ethan. We're going to be playing the challenge at Reedy Creek A tier. The reason we're doing that is because this is a qualifier for USDGC, arguably a top 3, if not the second biggest disc golf tournament
Ever.
in the world. There are many events worldwide, and the challenge at Reedy Creek happened to be one, so we're down here. So hopefully Manny, and on the very big off chance, maybe myself makes it.
What about Ethan?
And maybe Ethan as well.
Dude, this guy's leaving you out. That's crazy.
We're just gonna basically be doing a little bit of a recap for the tournament, hopefully get some clips for you guys to enjoy, and hopefully this guy can qualify for USDGC. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a little breezy, a little windy. I heard that it does get quite windy out at the course, probably gusty too. Scores are going to be very interesting.
And an important note is this course is it's just on a golf course, and it's a lot of placement disc golf, a lot of hazards, a lot of OB around the green. So essentially if you play clean and you get just enough distance off the tee, you should be scoring pretty well. Hopefully one of us can do that, but
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
All right, round 1 recap of the challenge at Reedy Creek. We walked the course in the morning, just the front 9, which felt pretty good. I think it was pretty necessary for us. Looks like the front 9's more scoreable than the back 9. Back 9, you got to survive, especially right now. Yesterday was pretty windy. It's a little breeze right now here this morning, round 2. But anyways, I started off 5 for 5 yesterday. Felt the heart thumping. I don't like the wind that much, but obviously I started off 5 for 5. Cooled down a little bit, went par. Got my first bogey on hole 8, which is a fairly easy par 4. Some of these par 4s it's like placement shot, especially with the wind. You don't really want to attack the green. After hole 9, I pretty much kept going birdie, bogey, par, birdie, bogey, par. I had 9 birdies and 4 bogeys. Those bogeys costed me a little. It was when I was trying to do a layup play. No more layup plays. I think I know what to do now on those holes specifically, but I'm looking forward for today. Play more consistent. We'll see how it goes. I'm having a good time right now.
Just to recap my round, it's very interesting out there. It's probably one of the better courses I've ever played. There is so much OB, so much hazard. It's like if you're off the fairway, you're basically laying up. There's a lot of holes where there's like a golf green that's out of bounds right before the pin. So if you don't carry the green, you're out of bounds. And it's just, you could easily rack up the bogeys pretty easily. I think the game plan for today, for me, is to just be aggressive and hopefully just stay in bounds as much as possible. That's kind of the motto for the day. So we'll see how we do, see how Manny does, and hopefully we can get you some clips to overlay. But yeah, let's go. All right, guys, we just finished round 2 out at Reedy Creek. How'd it go for you, Manny?
Judging by my facial expression, just such a crazy round. Could not get the ball rolling. I shot a 6 over. Yeah. From 5 down yesterday to 6 over, and I cannot explain like what was going on, dude. I was battling like just my mental strength, dude. I did not blow up, which was nice, but every time after I birdied, I would get a bogey, and it just bring me back down where I thought I was going to go back up. The wind was, I would say, kind of a factor maybe, or maybe that's just my excuse. It was windy for everybody. Up shots were pretty bad. My up shots here have been not good, or my layup plays. Putts all right. I've been making my putts when when the wind dies down. But overall, what can I take from this round? Take it hole by hole and have more confidence on my up shots, and hopefully maybe tomorrow better round than today, because playing with this guy tomorrow, pretty brutal on my end. I haven't shot like that in a while, and it was rough.
What was the difference between round 1 and round 2?
I'd say having no expectations.
What did you expect today?
Shoot better. Shoot better, and I did not do that. I felt I was in a weird funk.
Fair enough.
What about you?
It was a pretty good round, very up and down. I only had 3 pars. Crazy.
Yeah, that's like not good.
Just that scorecard alone just best describes how the course is. There's so much out of bounds. Like every single hole except hole 1.
Hazard's a big deal out there.
But yeah, there's so much hazard on the course. And if you guys don't know what hazard is, you're basically OB, but you take it from where it lies. So if you throw terrible 150 feet long in the pin, you have to take it from where it lies.
That's
so,
one
with
thing,
the penalty.
Yeah, that's one thing that got me this round was just ending up in the hazard. I had three rollaways, I think, that just ended up in the hazard, and it was brutal.
But yeah, my round started off birdie. Hole 3, I bogeyed. Hole 4, 3 putted bogey. Hole 5, I mean, that was my first par, first of 3. Bogeyed 6, bogeyed 7, parred 8, bogeyed 9. So just terrible front 9 because I just went OB, I think 4 times. And 10, 11, I birdied. And it's basically kind of just went like that. 12 bogey, 13 bogey, 14 birdie, 15 birdie, 16 my third and final par, 17 bogey, 18 birdie.
Oh, so, you should talk about your birdie on 18.
Yeah, that was crazy. On 18, very good finishing hole in my opinion, because you probably could really go for eagle if you had the opportunity. But it's like a placement shot over this blackberry bush. It's probably about anywhere between 280 and 330 feet. Very small landing zone. OB left, hazard on the right. OB long of that. And so the second shot, once you land in that preferred landing zone, you have maybe 280 to 200 foot up shot over water.
And hazard behind.
And the basket's on a hill, hazard long. So you can't just rip it at it. And the hazard is 10 feet after the basket. So for myself on 18, I threw backhand putter envy and I actually nicked a branch from a tree and dropped down into the blackberry bush. There's mandatory relief from there, so there's no OB penalty stroke, but it goes to a drop zone that's 330 feet away. Like I said, there's all these hazards. Water OB short, hazard long, and the green itself is probably maybe 30 feet long. And I wanted to go for it because I wanted a birdie. So I threw my honor. New disc, by the way, which I highly recommend to people looking for a stable 9-speed, stable to straight 9-speed. The honor is really good. Threw my honor flat. It got a little bit of turn and I threw into some headwind. Faded, barely made over the water, skipped up, parked, got my birdie, shot 1 over. That was a great way to end the round. Honestly stoked. But overall, I mean, I'm shooting way better than my rating, which is awesome. I think I'm averaging 995. Like Manny said, there's so many strokes out there. If you stay in bounds, you could easily shoot double digits.
Yeah, it's a really good course. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Even though I played bad today and played great yesterday, I saw really good shots out there.
Yeah, it's well designed. So shout out to the course designer and shout out to the tournament directors for putting this course on.
Yep.
But like Manny said, we'll be playing together tomorrow. I'm at even. He's at 1 over. I'm 10 strokes off the lead. He's 11 strokes off the lead. But to qualify for USDGC, he's going to have to chase down probably Damian Trunky. He's at 6 down. So 7 strokes off for him, 6 strokes off for me. And that's easily doable. Anybody can have a round like Manny out there.
Only 4 people were under par today.
Which is insane.
Which is crazy.
It's so windy, but it's just
Shout out to Thomas, too, who was under par.
For sure. He could have shredded. So it's anybody's game. I mean, it's not like he shot himself out of it today, I would say. So
shout out to Zayla Nash, who I played with. Kid was unstoppable on the putting green.
Yeah, 6 down is
crazy.
Nasty. Yeah. We'll see come tomorrow. Hopefully we have some good news and we have some qualifiers. Yeah. But
so far the San Diego trip has been quite fun. Interesting Friday night, but
yeah.
But overall it's great. Right now we're staying at buddy Ethan's place.
Shout out to the Switzer facility right here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that kind of about does it for round 2.
Round 2 recap.
Hopefully we get into round 3 with some good news. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Peace out.
All right, here we are for round 3 coverage. Final round at the challenge at Reedy Creek. Manny's trying to qualify for USDGC. It's me, Manny, and Jacob Curtis or Cupcake on the card, and we're trying to shoot hot today. This is hole 1. Pretty simple par 4, 515 feet. You just want to do 2 shots, 2 putter shots, and get a birdie. Manny throws his proxy a little bit left side, but essentially perfectly in the fairway. And he pitches up with his pixel. Although it's slightly to the right, he ended up being around 28 feet and making the birdie. On to hole 2, he's 1 down. This is a 297-foot uphill island hazard par 3. So if you end up outside the island, you take a penalty stroke and play it from where it lies. Manny's going A2 here, I believe, and puts it to around 15 feet. Little tester, Not much wind, luckily, at this time. The wind kind of died, and he ended up making that for birdie. Moving on to hole 3, it's an uphill par 4. Another 2-shot par 4. You essentially just want to get 400 feet down the fairway and have a very simple uphill upshot, which Manny does, executes it perfectly. He throws his soft NV on his upshot to hopefully get a birdie.
Go in.
But it hits the tree and gets the most foul roll away I've seen. Rolls all the way back down the hill, maybe 120-ish feet. But he gets up and down for par. I didn't get footage of hole 4, but he ended up getting par there as well. Now we're on to hole 5, which is basically just a forehand hole. Fades away from the OB, and very easy for Manny just to throw a sidearm. Threw it a little low, but gets the putt, makes a birdie. On to hole 6, this is arguably the hardest hole in the course. Downhill 380 feet. The green slopes from right to left, so it's really hard to keep it straight. And he unfortunately faded out to the left into the hazard and took a bogey. This is footage of hole 7 of him putting for birdie, but he threw it a little bit too high, ended up taking a par, no harm, no foul. This is more footage of hole 8 of him trying to get up and down for birdie on a par 4. Did so perfectly. Moving on to hole 9, this is a downhill 373-foot par 3. He's throwing hex, and he smashes it on hyzer. Perfect height, in my opinion. Skipped up to 20 feet, and he gets a birdie. And he actually ended up birding hole 10 as well, which is a pretty simple par 4. And now we're on to hole 11's upshot, where he's throwing pixel 300 feet onto a hill green that's very tricky. And he ended up doing it perfectly. He landed just shy of the tree and has like a 15-footer for birdie. And this is to make it 4 birdies in a row and officially kind of be on a heater. Let's see if he can do it. And he gets it done, so that's pretty sweet. He ends up parring the next hole and on to hole 13, one of the more harder par 3s on the course. He's trying to run this for birdie.
Come on.
Doinks it off the cage, but it doesn't end up going OB, which is nice, so another par. Hole 14, this is another easier par 4. He's throwing soft envy on the upshot, trying to get back on the birdie train. And he executes the shot very well. He ends up going a little bit long, maybe about 15, 18 feet. A lot of headwind, so kind of a scarier putt. Let's see if he can make it. Goes off the band, but ends up making it. So that's an awesome way to get back on the birdie train. On to hole 15, one of the easier par 3s on the course. This is honestly a must-get if you want to win this tournament. He ends up parking it and getting a birdie. First look at Cupcake here, hole 16. This is a really tricky green. I'm only showing this shot because you can see the basket on the right, how difficult this shot is. I ended up not getting Manny's tee shot, but he threw TL3 and essentially just parked it. However, the wind is ripping, so this is kind of a tester. Let's see if he can make it. And he ends up making it, so he gets another turkey. Now we're on to hole 17, 2 holes left to play. This is a very tricky uphill par 3. 420 feet, but probably plays like 490. Essentially, this is a hero shot from Cupcake, throwing a massive hyzer to try to get at the green. Manny's going for layup here, but I figured I might as well show this to kind of show you how ridiculous this line is. Insane. All hyzer, parks it. Easy birdie for Jacob, only on the weekend. Only birdie on the weekend. Manny, on his layup play, ends up throwing it into the tree, but gets a miracle kick out of the tree, inbounds, and he's able to get up and down for his par, which is insane. Saves him a stroke. Heading into hole 18, this is like I said, a 2-shot par 4. However, Cupcake's trying to prove me wrong and make it a 1-shot par 4, trying to aim for the green here and hopefully go for the dub. He's throwing Halo Destroyer, puts it on some Annie, and it flexes out, but it ends up hitting a tree and barely going OB or into the hazard long, but he still has to look for birdie. Manny lays up perfectly. I didn't get his first shot, but he has an opportunity to push for a playoff and get a 10 down on his final round here at the Challenger Reedy Creek if he can throw this A2 close. And he ends up doing so perfectly. Parks it. And with that 10 down, that's a 1,063 rated round and Manny's highest rated round ever. Here's just some bonus footage of Cupcake trying to get that eagle. And in this playoff, there's 3 people: Alex Gerlach, Gavin Boss, and Manny Torres. And they're all trying to fight for that last spot on USDGC. Let's hear what the TD has to say.
All right, this is playoffs. We have a 3-way tie. We're playing 18 on a loop until we determine a winner. 2 of you guys get a 3 and 1 guy gets a 4. The 2 push and continue on for another round. 4 drops off until we have one last man standing. And the order is Torres is first, Gerlach is second, and Boss is third.
So we're on to the playoff here. Manny's up first, hole 18, throwing the same play as tournament round, just throw a pixel. Yeah, and he does so well. He gets the turn, lands perfectly in the fairway. I didn't end up getting Alex Gerlach's shot, but he ended up turning his forehand over into the bushes on the left, but he stayed in bounds. Gavin Boss up next with his zone. And he ends up throwing a turnover, but nicks the tree, but still gets the forward push to land in the fairway. Up next here is Alex. He's luckily in bounds and could get up and down for birdie in hopes of taking the last USDG spot. But I'm not sure if he ended up early releasing or if he just had poor footing, but he ended up shorting it. Still in bounds with a chance to get up and down for par. Gavin here, throwing his zone. Looks like he has the distance. Skips over the wall to stay in bounds in hopes of taking that last USDGC spot. And that puts a lot of pressure on Manny. He's honestly forced to get up and down here to keep his hopes alive. And he does so well. He parks it, which honestly flip-flops the pressure to Gavin here, who has to make this 18-footer in the wind to continue the playoff. And he does so. So Manny ended up parked here, as I said before. Alex didn't throw in for birdie, which eliminated him from taking the last USDGC spot. So now we go back to hole 18 with just Gavin and Manny fighting for that last spot. Gavin up here first. Same play for him. He puts it wider than first time around and ends up putting in a good spot in the fairway, putting a little bit of pressure on Manny to keep this one in bounds. Manny trusting his pixel here, trying to replicate the same shot he just did a few minutes ago. And he ends up doing it perfectly, puts it high, gets some turn on it, and lands in the fairway. Funny enough, Manny ended up about a couple inches to a foot farther than Gavin. So Gavin is forced to throw here first. And so this puts a lot of pressure on Gavin to get this one in bounds. He ended up a little bit shorter than the first throw, but let's see if he can correct. He throws it. It gets a bit of a wind lift from the right to left wind, and luckily lands in bounds, but around 40 feet. So this actually flip-flops the pressure again onto Manny, where he's forced to get up and down in order to secure this last spot for competing at the USDGC. Let's see if he can get up and down and do so. It's low, but he does so perfectly.
Come on, Manny.
Manny puts it in the bullseye and forces Gavin to make this putt in order to push the playoff to a third hole. With the USDGC spot on the line, let's see if Gavin can make this 40-footer to push for a third hole in this playoff. Gavin ends up missing low, very tough headwind putt, and Manny secures the win in the playoff and the last spot for USDGC. Let's hear what the TD has to say.
In the mixed professional open division, Manny Torres. And you're going to Rock Hill.
Shout out Disco, my run Disco, don't
guys, this is my first tournament here in SoCal. Although it's not a win, I got third place and got my spot at USDGC. Thank you.
He already had the USDC from the Las Vegas Challenge. Always a fan favorite. Yes, thank you guys.
Well, dude, you just qualified for USDGC. Dude, how you feeling?
Dude, I feel a bunch of emotions right now. This is just incredible. Like, I have no words, to be honest, but I mean, I came here for one reason and one reason only, was to qualify for USDGC. It wasn't that easy. I had to go into a playoff, three-way playoff for third place and for the USDGC spot. Shout out to Damian Trunke, back-to-back winner. He got his invitation and onto the playoff. It was interesting for me. I don't like playoffs at all. I don't think anybody does, especially for something so big, right? Because nerves can get to me sometimes, especially like on the putting green. Drives are good. Putting greens can be a little iffy. Play it off with Alex Gerlach and Gavin Boss, two great players. Yeah, I just called my mom right now and unreal. Just didn't know what to say. Almost cried, man. Holy crap, dude. But yeah, I feel great. I shot the hot round, 10 down in this crazy win. Only 11 birds, 1 bogey. Played the best out of all 3 days, final round. And the crazy part is I birdied 18 and went on to birdie it twice for the playoff hole and to secure my spot for USDGC. Yeah, I just don't know what to say. Yeah, this was the challenge at Reedy Creek. First SoCal tournament ever. It's not a win, obviously not. It's third place, it's a podium finish, but I won winning a spot for USDGC. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Ethan.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Thank you.
Congrats, dude. Well, guys, that kind of does it for this video. It was amazing to capture such an emotional moment for Manny. For him to achieve his goal of making it to USDGC was amazing to witness, and I couldn't be happier to be able to film it and capture every moment. I hope you guys really enjoyed this content. Make sure to send a congrats to Manny down in the comments below, or you can message him privately. This was definitely a huge accomplishment. Before we end this video, shout out to the tournament directors. Shout out to all the staff, the volunteers for making this tournament what it is. This was an amazing A-tier. One of the best tournaments I've ever played and one of the best courses I've ever played. And lastly, shout out to Cupcake for cheering Manny on and for shredding the last round as well. If you guys want to support, make sure to check out www.discgolf.com to check out any disc golf stuff. I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you guys all for all your support over this past year and a half. I couldn't do it without you guys, but that kind of does it for this video. Looks like we're headed to Rock Hill, South Carolina. We'll see you guys there. Peace.